It's the exact same armor. It's the exact same swords.
Oh, so great. Now she's going to think this guy killed HK.
Right? Right? Like, bitch, what'd you do to my buddy?
But yet I'm still hanging out with them.
Exactly.
Like, you know what? Turns out he wasn't so bad.
And look at that.
Okay.
There's the latest with his human chick. How hard is that?
Alright. I'm going to try to stay in the stream. Holy shit. What the fuck is going on with me right now? Alright. So, Bernard, you have gotten to introduce yourself. Hopefully, we may have lost a little bit with the screen going off on me. But you guys have bonded pretty well from what I see here, so good for that.
Him and his chicken.
And his chicken. I heard a little bit about that.
We decided he has a chicken.
Does this chicken have a name?
Yeah, her name's gonna be Cluck.
Cluck? His chicken?
Yes.
Alright, Bernard, man, that's gonna be a rep. That's the way it goes, then.
We decided it while you're gone, based upon his description, he has a chicken.
Okay.
and it's definitely not his wife.
Alright, farm boys.
There are women in Flowerdale.
Alright. To move this along now, so we can hopefully get everybody into this, you are going to go into the tavern. Now, let's see if I can get the town back up. Alright, the Bloated Boar, if we remember. Okay. You two go into the, after getting Bernard introduced and now joining the army of Greenwood that is building, you are going to basically enter in Bloated Boar to get you guys some drinks, kind of figure out what your next plan is. That is when you hear of a tale being strewn by a bard you don't ever remember playing here before. So with that, HK and Alerion, though, give me a history check, and I will give you an advantage.
Ooh.
That's gonna be a 30.
Damn you two. Hal, would you please tell them your very, very special tale that you're telling?
Yes, Admiral Ecto, the captain of, let's see, what was it? Sun Turtle. Admiral Electo had passed down the story of two princes from the Hawkins dynasty in the Garden of Gaia. They were accompanied by their sisters, the Princess Melanie and Thea. The tale states that they were sent on a quest by their father, Deimos Hawkins, the King of Kylos. As his children began their journey, Captain Electo sailed them into open water on a ship, the Heart of the Mermaid. A powerful storm blasted at their ship. The Heart of the Mermaid was sturdy as they come. She wasn't fast, but she was resilient. When royal siblings, their honor guard, and the crew of the ship awoke, they found themselves in still waters. From there, the tales talk about great monsters the noble siblings had to fight. Twisted counterparts from their lives. The crew had found themselves in Hades' realm.
Okay, you can stop there, Gabe. Who do they see telling the tale? Give them a description of your character.
They see a half-elf in some pretty nice-looking scale mail, adorned with some gold accents, and underneath seems to be a robe with some red accents, navy blue primarily, a couple of jewelry. This bard also seems to be into jewelry. Rings on his fingers, multiple earrings on each ear, and he also has a purple ascot. His eyes are like a light blue. His hair, short, parted, slicked back with some white kind of like accents on the front. And behind it, the rest of it's like orange. This guy's basically a ginger. And on his side, he carries a rapier, but it still looks. There doesn't seem to be any wear on the handle. And you also see him playing his. He also has a lute on his back. Maybe to play during quiet moments at a tavern. Yeah, that's it.
With both your history checks, you have heard this tale told to you in your need of your quest. It is a story I'm sure both of you are familiar with.
That's the ship we were on, so.
Yeah.
For a time, so.
Sad tale.
Sad tale.
Did not end well for them.
Do you wish to do anything? Approach the bard, or?
I'll wait till he's done. I don't want to interrupt his performance. Bards in general, as long as they're doing a good job, are usually pretty good for morale, and we're going to need a lot of that coming up. So it makes more sense for me to kind of let him do his thing. But when he's done, I'll try to get his attention and wave him over to us.
Okay. Well, it doesn't take too long. It seems like one part of a tale that he streams about maybe when he's going to play a week at a place. Hal, you see the individuals that were described before.
We'll
Hey,
buy
in
him
specific,
these guys
HK
can
will.
never say no.
Yeah, HK will just reach out a hand and give him the whole.
Just walks on stage and approaches this novelty of a person of life form and some part of him.
Novelty.
This novel. Hello.
Well met. I'm
Well met.
Hephaestus Kendrick Greystoke, designation HK. And I reach my hand down to shake your hand.
He shakes he shakes back.
Firm but gentle. Does not, crush your bones or anything like that.
Well, you could.
Oh, so gentle.
It's like Dr. Dre and Flava Flav over here. It's great.
Pleasure. You seem you seem interesting.
I like to
Very-
think so. Would you care to have a drink?
Well, certainly. My act is over. I
Yeah.
suppose I
Give him a pint of Hobbs piss.
Ah!
Not even in the room, still laughing.
HK,
All right.
Hey, I have to
look-
run away for a minute.
HK looks over at you and he smiles. And he goes, "I hear it's lovely this time of year." And then the chair that's in the bar that actually works for him, he pulls up and he'll sit down. And he, by the way, does not drink anything.
What brings you here?
I live here. Well,
Yeah.
not here, but in this town.
In the big mansion.
It's very
Um,
distinguished guests.
so Hal and Bernard, the mansion that you just now will be mentioned, is the largest house in all of Greenwood. Like, it is assumed that you had sort of heard that Fey nobility is living in that mansion that it was being built. Like, Fey even helped build it in such speedy time in its construction. So if he's saying he lives in that mansion, he is probably the second most important person, if not the most, next to the mayor.
Oh. Yeah,
Sorry, Alerion, if you were still the mayor, I would still put you in the top group, man.
Would we know their names, or just know that they're really important?
I'll give you a chance to roll a history check.
All right. Do I roll physical dice or digital?
You can choose whatever you like. I believe you.
All right. Let's use the scaling dice. History. Yeah. 10.
Well, you're not sure exactly how he got into Greenwood, but you do know that HK is one of the champion gladiators out of Fang's Port. And that is a rival town to the north of your place.
Sir, you humble me. You live in the mansion.
I built the mansion, but yes,
Oh, I should be buying you a drink.
no need.
Why? He owns a mansion.
Alerion, you're the worst wingman.
I did. It brings back memories. I've been on that ship.
Beg your pardon.
I've been on that ship.
The Heart of the Mermaid.
Ah,
In your understanding,
Is it
Hal,
hard?
that is not possible.
I see. What exactly would your part on the ship have been?
I was not a member of its crew, but we came across the ship when we traveled into that dark realm. And we commandeered that ship in order
Yeah, we
to
had to get it
fulfill
right back.
our purposes.
Can I get a read on this guy?
Yeah.
I can't believe.
Do an insight check. Leonika, you may either choose deception or persuasion.
Or
I'll go.
just put one foot up on a stool while he sizes you up.
Or let your wingman explain.
I'll go with persuasion.
18 plus 4. Yeah, 22.
He beats my persuasion, but I'm not. Yeah. Well, I'll let you adjudicate.
But you're
that.
not lying.
You pretty much believe this very boisterous individual who likes to seem to be more or less full himself, is what you can tell, is he at least believes that he was on a vessel that was what your tale says. How so still is odd, but he seems larger than life. You've never seen Warforged like him, so he's definitely rare, and you do know he's in touch with the Fey, so there could be a story to that. You are a bard.
Soak it in.
What it is.
Soak it in.
I call over. I call over a server and ask for a carafe of wine.
Okay.
No, I mean, seeing that this person in front of me hasn't taken a drink, still gonna need some wine.
Okay. Janice will bring over some wine for you.
I would like to hear how.
I start filling a glass from what he got over.
Okay.
I don't know you quite well enough yet to give you all the details, but suffice it to say. No. Let me try that again. I am different than I once was. Myself and my friends, we journeyed to a very dark place on a mission of great importance. Largely, that mission was completed. That's what brings us back home now. when we finished there, we were made aware of what's headed for Greenwood. And we're trying to defend it. This is my home. And my choice, with all the other things that need to be accomplished by our group, was to come here. Because if we cannot defend the innocent and good people of this realm from the evil that would be done unto them, what purpose could there possibly be for anything else?
As you're speaking, the door jettisons open into the inn. Alerion and Hephaestus, you recognize Paul and Sam, who are old guards of Greenwood. And they go, Sam goes, Asa, there you are. You need to come out. You need to come out to the edge of town right away.
We're on our way.
And get your weapons.
To-go cup.
No, you cannot get a to-go cup.
Diane
Go.
Diane gives you a to-go cup, Alerion.
HK looks at Diane, really? And then just... and then he'll go, Bernard, come along.
He would eagerly be right behind you guys.
Okay. So the
And,
four of you
kind
rush
sir,
out.
If you want to know whether or not what we did was possible, follow us now. And then he will follow them to the edge of town.
Okay. So all four of you are running into the edge of the town. It takes you about a few minutes. You run into two more of the guards, Jeremy and William. And William goes, "Oi, sir. Right there at the edge." And you do see a tall, very attractive, very young girl, though. She must be in her 14s, fully armored. But her red locks of hair come down, cascade from her and onto her shoulders with a very large spear. They seem to be alright, even though she's a little different and very well armored and elven, fayish type of male. It's the 6 little bobbing heads that are around her, which you notice like gnomish type of being, definitely fey creatures with red berets on their head.
HK looks at Alerion and says, "Red caps?"
Oh yeah, for sure. Watch your ankles.
Red caps. Mind your purses.
Bernard, you might want to have get up on your shoulder or something.
Mind your purses and your rations. This ought to be interesting.
As the woman moves forward, 2 other beings, they're not very taller, not taller than her, also kind of come with a flank. 2 you recognize. A black bird-like being in dark black feathers in a what seems to be a tunicky a ranger garb comes out. You remember her as Russell, and her very good friend, a halfling in a white robe. No weapons, no other armor, just simple robe and a blonde hair up with a ponytail. T has returned with this woman as well.
T. Russell.
Oh, here comes trouble.
Trouble's coming for you, you shit.
What the fuck?
The woman goes, "Father, we've returned with. I brought a unit. The Queen wants to make sure that we have brought you help."
Thank you so very much. Please, offer my thank yous to the Queen. Russell, it's been a while.
You hear the surrounding people who don't know, you hear perfectly in HK's voice, Hephaestus Kendrick. What the fuck?
Designation.
In a different voice, obviously, with the what the fuck?
Designation HK.
Oh no, she left that part off.
Oh no, he adds it. And then he reaches down and, as long as she doesn't resist him, scoops up Russell and gives her a big hug.
She will not resist.
And he also scoops up T as well, unless she resists.
She resists.
He will miss with T.
But she looks at She takes a thumb and she aims it at Alerion and goes, "You still with this clown?"
Russell will look. Russell will look at Firebrand and go, "It's gonna get hot in here."
Whoa!
He sets Russell down. He looks at T. He wouldn't know what to do without me.
I wish he knew better.
So,
The queens ain't happy with him.
I know. He'll acquit himself well this time.
Who are the kids behind you?
This is Bernard, my squire.
Bernard would probably be standing like too close, so when you turn, something in your chest.
I love
Oh.
it.
And the chicken squawks.
and that's how.
Well met.
All right. Well,
Who have you brought with you?
Diane goes, "This is my captain of my elite team, Hector. Hector, do not kill anybody in the town that my father says you can't kill."
And of course, he gives his daughter a hug.
Okay, she definitely embraces it.
Why do these guys always look so squirrely?
They murder people for a living.
It's not their
In
best
Jews-
quality.
In Jew's voice,
They
you
creep me
you,
out.
you recognize Jew's voice, and you hear, "Don't mean to shit on me."
This is gonna be a
I gotta know
flashback session.
you, I guess.
Yeah.
Good times, good times. I still have some things to prepare for Father. Hector, you're in charge of the boys, and I will return when things get more heated. Russell,
This night of summer. I understand.
good. Russell,
I am,
T,
I
do as
am
you do.
concerned. This one.
Does he have to look at me while he's here?
He doesn't
Yes,
like
he
you.
does.
Ugh.
With that, Diane will give you a kiss on the cheek, Hephaestus, and then she returns to the Fey Forest.
Good job, men on your watch. They are with us.
William goes, "Oh, that is those really red caps."
Yes, but they're fighting with us against what comes for us.
Are you sure? They take babies.
He looks directly at Hector, with his hand not closed around, but on the pommels of both hands on the pommels of both his swords. You are bound by the Queen of Summer and to the Summer Night, are you not?
Yes. We serve the Summer Queen.
And by that definition, all in this town, all the natural born of this town, from this town, and under my protection, are safe from your desires?
We will not harm anything that the night says we cannot kill. She has said your town is off limits.
HK takes one of the scented oils. This one is a very sweet lavender scent. And he says, "And will you take this gift and be bound by the hospitality of me, this town's protector, to confirm what you have just spoken?"
I have but one trepidation. This one.
And he points towards Alerion.
This one is the
Mutual
firebrand.
feeling,
yes?
buddy.
Again,
He is the one known as the firebrand, yes?
yes, and he is now, as he ever was, under my protection. Back from the days
boy!
when I was the Summer Night.
Why do you ally yourself with a traitor to the queen?
I'm saving
Because
the
I-
world.
He spits a lob at his feet.
Because I
Is that as high as you could get it?
will redeem him in the queen's eyes.
Russell will stand right in front of Firebrand as well and look at him and go, "That sounds like a you problem."
Again, will you confirm your words that he and this town are under my protection?
He sort of shifts and he looks once at each of his fellow companions and they kind of do this weird, like, twitching at each other. And he waddles up and accepts the gift.
I accept your terms.
Excellent.
Question. Does that include the chicken?
It is
What do you
natural.
call it, chicken?
It's natural and from this town and under my protection.
It's unsure if he's pointing towards Russell or Cluck.
HK doesn't even
Bernard
look
would turn
behind.
to hide Cluck.
HK doesn't even turn. Just look at who or what you were pointing at.
Nice.
Under my protection.
Agreed. Just remember, we are agents of death.
Oh, I
We
understand.
require blood.
But you
not
understand.
make us fight.
You understand that I will not age, and I do not die. They will always be under my protection, and you will forever be bound by the rules of hospitality. They will always be free from your desires, and that of your group.
One of the other red caps moves forward and goes, "Right, but you serve the queen too, so that depends on what the queen wants."
I have full faith in the Queen. She will support me as long as we support the goals that she supports. And we do. And should that change, that changes. But until that changes, you are bound.
We're bound. We serve Father of the Summer Night.
Excellent. All good.
All right. Well,
Russell will make. So, for the people who don't know Russell, and this might sound slightly alarming, but not to HK and Alerion, she makes a sound with her beak, like a saddle bill, that clacking sound. If you don't know, look it up. It's on YouTube. There's a loud clacking sound, and then at them, and then she backs up.
okay. HK, you want to go back to your house? There's better. You have a planning room.
I think we have a planning room. I recognize that it's going to be a cold night on the couch if I bring red caps to my wife, but it is what it is.
I'm also going to
Sounds
say.
like you're discussing bringing a. That
We
sounds like
can
you're
put out a
discussing
bowl for him in the yard.
STD.
I'm going to say you probably
I
think
can't
your
let
wife
HK
is gone too, though. You think she might be in the Fey Woods,
Yeah.
so it might be an empty house at the moment.
I can't bring red caps home to my wife. What if she gets them?
Okay, the mansion is very lavish. You don't even know where Hal, Bernard, you don't even know where some of this stuff even came from. Even Alerion, it's like it looks like very exotic items that have that lavish this house. HK has what looks like to you the most astute battle room. It's got a Game of Thrones type of map. It's got little fairy lights underneath it and stuff. It's the wood is some ancient mahogany thing that just it's well stained, carved, polished. There's little pieces of horses and knights and men and dragons and anything you want to use, all kind of around. So combat wise, but he's got scrolls and things of all around the place, as well as suits of armor and stuff that make the place look very militaristic.
Also, on a on a stone header that is over the doorway as you are exiting is a series of words basically that are known as the creed and the admonition. And for those that know it, hang on one second, it is, bring that up. It's basically the phrase that is uttered by the Iron Legions of Forstad before they go into battle. It's a recreation of the entrance to the Underdark from the lowest level of Forstad. And it is the creed of the Warforged. And it says, in battle we have purpose, in battle we have cause, in battle we have the mission. In life our purpose is the mission. In life our cause is the mission. In life we are the mission. It also has the admonition. That was the first part, was the creed, the admonition. Heed the words of the Warforged legions. The battlefield is home. The fight is the hearth. Be you not a soldier of the forge, know that this is not your home. Be you an enemy of the forge, know that we bring our home with us. Within these gates lies the soldiers of the forge. Enter at your own risk, for we long for our homes and our hearth. And whenever HK crosses that threshold, he reaches a hand up and touches that. And you have to be fairly tall to do that, because even HK has to reach and stand tall to touch it. That opening is that high. So at 7 foot, he's got the appropriate wingspan for a dude of his size, and he has to reach to touch that. But it's big enough where you can read that clearly.
Yes, and on the opposite wall it was delivered, I had a painting of us commissioned, and it's me and HK standing back to back.
Broham! HK did not pose for that one, but whatever.
Standing at the corner of the table is a gentleman with a very short crop but reddish beard, and he's kind of like in more or less studded leather with a kilt. Is Captain Jonah O'Brien. He's in your chat, so how you gonna spell that? He is some of the new members that have also come in before, like about a couple months ago, to shore up the town. They don't number many, maybe around 15 to 20, what you know of. So your army is very, right now, at the moment, super outnumbered.
Yep.
Being at 5 foot, the little black Kenku is gonna go and reach up, like, yep, not come anywhere close. And then she'll see
HK will offer a hand if you need a lift.
She'll ignore it, but she's gonna look at the picture, and then look at Firebrand, and then look at HK and go, "What the fuck?"
HK just shakes his head. He's my friend.
T goes, man crush. Russell, man crush.
I'm gonna jot that down.
She's gonna mumble to T. Damn it.
I just feel bad for you guys. Never had a best friend before.
He's like looking at Russell.
Do you really have a friend if they're not willing to go to a god and give up their child for you? Like, were you really a friend if that didn't happen?
All right.
Yeah, I would take notes. How? Yeah.
Oh, I am. This is the beginning of a wonderful story.
Wow! Wow.
All right, so we're in the room, and Jonah has something to say.
He's like, welcome back. What are your plans?
have one new recruit and someone to tell the tale. He's got armor. Do you fight, Hal?
From a distance.
Are you willing to defend this town, or simply tell the tale of its defenders?
I will help you.
Love the confidence.
Because if I don't, then who's going to listen to the tale?
There is
Make it
that.
sound like we're forcing you.
So we have two more.
Right. Staggering numbers.
And those weird little fuckers over there.
I'm definitely scared of those fucking guys.
The red caps are currently stacking on top of each other to try to touch the thing on top of the thing.
It's not going very well.
I'm gonna go put a trench coat over them. So we don't have to look at them.
The whole bunch of red caps are all about 3 apples high, and that's pretty Smurfy. It's not gonna happen.
Smurfy. Screw Smurfs.
They're delicious. Yeah.
Our numbers are insufficient to defend against the hordes if they get to our gates.
Did you get the drow?
We've asked. I think we should try to ask again. I know that they had troubles brewing on their doorsteps as well. So what they would be able to send, I'm not sure. But I can certainly ask for any help that they can provide.
But plan on them not helping.
Right.
You know, prepare for the worst and hope for the best.
The question is, will we have enough to perhaps take on a special mission, basically fight our way to their leader out there as opposed to here at the gates?
You want to
Fight
get
to their doorstep.
you want to get to the Lich.
End the threat at its head, stop the army.
It's a bold plan. I like where your head's at.
I would also like, and I asked, I don't know how many have come or are on their way just yet, for help from Forstad. I've asked for the retired Warforged, the retired members of the Legion, and any that Forstad feels that they could send to lend aid.
Nothing's come yet. May I ask another question, though, sir?
Yes.
I remember, I know the two of you and your party, but what happened to the rest of them? Are they going to be here?
They are taking care of other parts of this greater terror that comes to us. All of
We're
Spero
on
is in
multiple
danger.
fronts. Yeah, they're on the other fronts of the war that are layered and complicated.
What we chose to do was come here with what we could, because I could not abide by letting Greenwood fall undefended. So I'm going to do everything I can with everything I have at my disposal. But things are dire.
All right. I'll set the men about the town, at least give us early warning. We'll send a few out to start tracking, see if we can find out where the horde is coming from. And,
No engagement.
right.
Information in return.
Reconnaissance.
So, how infamous is your bard friend?
You haven't heard of Hal?
Nope.
I would say he's famous. I don't think he's achieved infamy just yet.
But
See.
Bernard over here.
Right. So,
Bernard, have you ever heard the term suicide mission? No? Perfect.
He jokes. Well,
He's scared. He's never really thought of the stakes like that.
again, HK puts a gentle hand on your shoulder. There is no cause nobler than defending the innocent. Whatever the cost, this is what we do. This is what makes a difference.
Oh, sir, I'm here for the long haul.
Excellent. And then he kind of turns away from Bernard, looks at Alerion, and gives you the hell you thinking look.
This kid's 100% gonna accidentally call you dad at some point.
It may not, in fact, be an accident when he sees me throw down with the bad
The
guys.
entire time he's looking for the camera.
I said dad, not daddy.
Wow. All right. I guess we got that a little figured out. So, is there any other plan to recruit more of the army if you can't get to this Lich King?
Yes. We need to any homestead settlements in the area. We need to get send out runners to recruit, have people come. Anybody
They
who's
should be-
anybody
they should be
who's
drawn
true.
in.
Yeah, we should be
Anyway,
bringing them in. Any who are truly infirm and enfeebled, we need to get carts and supplies so they can leave. They need to get to safer places, or be prepared to do so. But we need to find out where the enemy's coming from, so we don't send them in the wrong direction by accident.
Would it not
Well-
be more strategic to use them as fodder?
No.
Right, now he totally scares me even more. But, sorry, the people of Greenwood don't got no. We're not a kingdom. We got no other place to go.
Understand.
Sending them out would be even more defenseless, especially in this world.
I'm thinking we send them to Flowerdale or to another town if that's not in harm's way, so they're not here.
All right.
And I'm not talking about everybody, just the elderly and the young and the infirm.
Well, what you got, Fey? You made a peace with the queens, right? What about hiding them there?
Yes. I suspect we could ask and if I can ask the queen if she would shelter them
All right.
through this difficulty.
And as it goes for runners, it looks like these two new recruits would be your best choices.
Bernard would speak up at that time and say, Flowerdale would indefinitely help. My mom and pa have always wanted to help, always wanted to do something that mattered, and they run a tavern there. So I imagine they'd be able to feed and sup the sick.
All right.
Maybe we can ask the Fey Queen if she can convey them to Flowerdale.
we can have somebody else run that message for Bernard so he can stay here with us. He needs to start his training as HK Squire.
HK
Yes.
Squire, right. Should we start calling you Lord then, HK?
I'm sorry?
Should we start calling you Lord? Alerion seems to think you're a knight or something, so I don't know. I just
Yeah.
want to be proper.
How about Captain?
Well, I thought I was the captain.
Co-captain?
Commander?
Commander? All right, I can call you Commander. That makes
General.
sense.
General.
I'm not a general. We're not yet an army. We are a unit.
Right, so
When we succeed, we will be.
You are a unit, buddy. You are a unit.
so Commander and Archmage, that fit pretty well for you guys?
Vanquish indeed.
Yes.
All right, Commander. I'll start looking to the troops. I don't know if you need any more information of what's kind of going on or keeping your squire up to page or whatever you do.
I would say, if I am for any reason unavailable, get word to Hal. He will get me the message. He will get word to me and or Bernard. Two of them will largely be at my side unless I send them for other duties. Once we find what direction they're coming from, we'll make decisions based on their distance and what our options will be.
Right, sir. All right. The captain will
Good job, Captain.
excuse himself. That leaves the 6 of you in the room with a bunch of other red caps playing with your statues, I guess.
They're probably
Probably
fighting.
just-
The rest of them are probably fighting at this point.
Just gnawing on the
In the
base
background.
board.
Yeah, they're just checking how actually strong your armor suits are. Tapping at them.
Probably biting them.
But one of them is right next to Bernard, just staring at the chicken. Looking.
Should they really be touching those?
Throwing lasers at that guy.
If it falls, it'll likely crush them. I would recommend you not do that. We should take the units that we have and start drilling.
Okay.
Alerion, if you'd be good enough to not use your power in case something happens faster than we imagine, but be sure to demonstrate what you would do in given situations so they are used to that and cannot be in the way of said actions. Obviously, when we identify commanders, there would be your efforts at a
Fireball.
distance.
Okay.
Russell turns to the T and makes an obvious obscene gesture and goes, shit, what did you just say? There was a word, there was something you just said and I was like, oops.
I said that we would we need to drill so they can
Yeah.
see what
Sh-
we're
sh-
doing.
Russell will make an obscene gesture at T and go, drill.
And she goes, he did that. 2 minutes. serving the queen.
Up top, Russell.
Okay, you guys take a few days of some getting the troops in training. It's Bernard. You guys are getting a little bit seeing of the militia. Greenwood is a simple town. Hector,
I'm my Barsby.
you're seeing things.
What's a few days?
3 days.
3 days? We have the red caps have to leave.
Yeah. You're in and out. We've talked
Okay.
about it. So this is just kind of the general sense of what the major town is. You're a little special in what you're doing here and there.
So we occasionally disappear into the woods.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Come back covered in blood.
And happy.
Yeah, this is a training montage.
Yeah.
You're
So-
the best around.
But Hector, you're a little. I mean, you're kind of used to a lot of little things here, but this is one of the most easiest towns to get into and out of. There are no walls. There is no tower. It is shit defense. It's really just the people who are patrolling on the outskirts. So whatever patrols run into something is the only way there is any discovery. You remember a year ago or so that your people were causing mayhem in this town, and you now know why, how easy and accessible it is. So you're pretty concerned that if undead come, they're all dead. It's pretty much where you're at with that. Hal, this is as bumblefuck as you can get. You're not really impressed with a lot. There's not a lot of fine clothery around. People are in simple garbs. The weapons are pretty average. The quality of food and stuff. Everything is just really, really average and country to you. So you're not really impressed. Staying at the inn or whatever is kind of, it's just not great for your back. You've kind of woken up to these crazy bugs and shit bothering you all the time and things. You're not very pleased with a lot of things, but you're surviving for the tail. Bernard, this is really upscale for you compared to Flowerdale. You've never seen so many soldiers in your life. You're just amazed that this military construct is being done before you. HK seems to be the hero everyone has talked about. This should be the most glorious, epic fight that you could ever imagine in your life. This will be awesome.
Also, as we're training, there will be times when we're doing different training scenarios where you would have taken an action, whether it be moved, made a strike. Other people will go to make a strike, and all of a sudden HK will say, "Bernard, on your left," and then you'll be able to. Then all of a sudden, you get to act because he lets you know that somebody was in a position and that you would have a better advantage, which is a narrative way of explaining he has a battle master ability that allows him to use his reaction to give you an attack, or you, even when it's not your normal turn as in that situation. So he basically is helping you be a more competent fighter in different situations.
Alerion, your training has gone to sitting at the bar on day 3. As you're talking to Lola, she goes to you and goes, "Alerion, did you hear what happened at fair?"
Well, I thought I asked you last time to stop smoking. It's not good for you.
I gotta stay awake and keep this good figure, right? That's part of smoking.
Guess we're gonna have to agree to disagree. Yet again.
Can't agree to disagree. You like your ale, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's no hog's piss, but...
I know how you like your trashy ale. I like my trashy cigarettes, okay, Alerion?
He likes a lot of things trashy.
Well, we know that. He's had his way around
How
town
do you think
before.
we met?
The good old boy.
And he didn't even have lust.
Fair lost all its chiefs.
What?
The champion killed all the chiefs and their champions. That's the
All
toll.
chiefs.
That's the tale being told.
Oh,
Right,
alright,
your
yeah,
friend,
well,
right? His name is Jew, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he killed all the
All-
champions and all the chiefs.
Is he like the king of the north now or something?
Nope.
The barbarian?
He disappeared with a devil bod, his new princess. That's
Oh,
the
no.
tale.
Oh, shit. I gotta have to tell HK all this now.
Yeah, that was his partner, right?
Oh yeah, they were the mega powers.
Oh, well, what do you think? Do you think they're gonna go for his kids? Or his wife? You think there'll be a wife kidnapping? That's what devils do, right?
For their sake, I hope not. A whole another kind of devil on their hands.
Well, that's what I hear.
Alright, well, thanks for letting me know. I guess I better go find HK.
Do you still want to finish your drink?
I'll just take it with me. I'll bring the glass back later.
You know, you've taken like 4 of my mugs already, Alerion.
I told you I would bring them back, and I will.
It's been weeks!
They're in my room. You know where it is.
Oh, now I have to clean your goddamn room too, Alerion?
Hey, I'm helping you cycle through all this beer. Nobody's drinking it.
Well, holy shit. Well, you go talk to your mega power buddy then, and I'll go wash my
I
mugs.
wasn't one of the mega powers. Do I look like a gladiator to you?
No, you don't look like shit.
I asked for that one.
And don't forget your tab's going up too.
Oh, I thought it was going down. I guess I'll see you later.
I'm talking to HK about you and your
Oh,
goddamn tab. You
Well,
know,
good for you.
you'll know you'll
Great.
get this,
So I don't have to
Alerion.
take it with me.
You'll get this, and when I tell him.
My drink is empty now. Can you refill it so I can take the glass still?
God damn it, right. Hey, just take the goddamn bottle. I want to keep my mug.
Fine. I'll see you at 4:30?
Yeah, 4:30 is good. Good, I'll see you then.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
See ya.
Gently close the door behind
Okay, cool. Alright, you find him, HK drilling the boys. Bernard's close by, watching the men drill.
me. Why isn't he out there? You're getting soft.
I don't.
This episode's lost track of where we're going. Holy Lord.
Ooh.
And here we dive downhill.
Yeah. And we've achieved the blue comedy portion of
Yeah,
our
for
show.
those of you who are sticking with this, thank you, and this is your reward.
Yeah. Yeah. So, by the time you're there, we're also going to practice some archery. And I will definitely let them know that if we're dealing with skeletons, don't bother shooting them with arrows. If you're dealing with zombies or any kind of undead that have meat on their bones, then arrows would likely be sufficient. If you are dealing with zombies, that's where we might consider lighting arrows, using flame arrows, things like that. During off hours, I would think anybody who has any kind of skill doing so should be making extra arrows, with half of them having the ability to be set ablaze. And we should kind of set up areas where we would bring quivers or buckets of arrows, and like the ones that would be able to be lit. That way, they can have oils at the bottom of those, so that they could be lit, so they'd be ready to go when the time is right.
One of the guards, Jeremy, will ask, sir, do you think we'll get any of those priests that you used last time?
When this day is done, I intend to start asking those very questions.
Oh,
I've asked for a lot of help from a lot of areas, and I will be returning those questions.
so no priest, and I take it no paladins.
At this moment, there is me.
Right. Guy, keep working on them arrows.
Russell will have...
Bernard, why are you looking at us? This is your chance to shoot an arrow.
Bernard would clumsily get his bow ready, square up on the target, and let one fly.
And Russell will watch the stance and the arms and everything else, and everything that she sees wrong on your body, she will take her own bow off and whack you on your leg, whack you up on your arm to fix your stance. She'll start glaring at you, and then she'll look at HK and go, "Live, laugh, fuck that," and push him away and she'll start training the archers herself.
You would take your instruction and try his best.
Ben, I would like to use my Battlemaster ability to assess Bernard's actual capabilities. Do I think that Bernard is actually a fighter, or do I think he might not actually be a fighter?
Well, he is definitely a fighter. You are assessing that he's just raw. Like, the athletic ability is there, the talent is there. You're just not seeing the skill come out yet, but you think you definitely could coach it and train it, and as things go. Yeah, everyone seems to be pretty capable. He's not a farce, for sure.
Okay.
They're just way lower than you and Alerion.
Yeah.
I think every time Bernard goes to shoot an arrow, flings up a feather so he can judge the wind.
She's gonna be out of feathers.
I don't think he's shooting that many arrows.
He's
As-
constantly
as-
looking for it for a while.
As we're spending this particular day training with the archery portion of things, at a certain point, because HK strongly believes that leaders should train by example, he will actually utilize his heavy crossbow, and you will see him fire as well on targets and such like that. And I don't believe I have sharpshooter, so I think my pace will be significantly slower than others, but I will hit pretty solid.
Alerion, do you want to tell HK any news?
Oh yeah, well, I came to relay all the information. Well, I'm not gonna tell him. I'm gonna take him aside. I'm not gonna
Yep. Okay.
blurt out everything that's going on in our world in front of everybody.
Well, that's how you were told.
And
Well,
also,
no, it's an intimate bar setting.
Intimate bar setting.
yeah, intimate. Bernard, you would also notice that while, again, HK fires at a slower pace, because crossbows can only be fired once per round if you don't have crossbow expert or whatever. You will also note that his arrow strikes are exceptionally hard. Like, not in a magical way, but he's just very good with the way he fires arrows. And you'll also note that he throws javelins. Same thing. You'll also note that he has a spear, and when he uses spears and stuff, he is also very good. He has the piercer feat, so he will hit harder when he hits, but clearly range is not his specialty, but he's actually very good at it.
Every time that HK is practicing this crossbow, Russell is there with a smirk and her longbow right next to him in the next stall, and she is hitting every mark that he is. Just like, yeah, come on, baby, do
And
it.
every arrow she shoots, I use prestidigitation to light it right before, like while it's in the air, for emphasis.
I have my own flame arrows. I don't need your help.
Seeing you guys kick ass, Bernard would be, I think, trying to pull that string a little bit further back, working extra hard to train up.
Excellent.
One thing I would say is that Bernard, although very new to archery, is quite accurate.
Excellent.
Good job,
Accuracy-
Bernard. Looking
Accuracy
good, buddy.
is very good.
He's very receptive to the praise.
Yeah, you gotta gas up the fellas.
I look at the red caps who are probably moseying around at variant times, and I
Probably
say,
just beating the shit out of each other.
I don't think, from my time as the Summer Knight, I need to worry about training you for the fight. But have you dealt with the undead before?
No. Well, not many. We've been sniffing around for the Knights of Nine.
Oh, sons of bitches. What a bunch of pricks.
When the time comes, I will turn you loose on their numbers. But stay close enough that they don't get past you, your group. You'll kill more of them if you're closer together, and it'll give us the opportunity to kill more of them as a whole.
That only depends if we go back to where they come from. We fight them
Correct.
here in Greenwood. They come back.
Correct.
Father of the Summer Night, might I have a word with you?
You may. I will step aside, assuming that's what he was
Yeah,
angling
yeah.
for.
Yeah.
Yes.
Me and my men, we have concerns. This town is weak. Where are your fortifications? Where is your wall?
We haven't had time to finish it. I have plans for them, and I have had some earthworks begun, but there will not be time to get them built in.
There has not been time to build the walls, you say.
And Hector does a very obvious glance towards the giant mansion in the distance. And looks back.
I can see that.
The other one that seems to be close by. He's always seems this one you've noticed often is close to Hector. Goes.
Hector has a shadow.
He goes. Maybe you give another children to Queen to get more troops.
You're sure something can be arranged?
I have only 2 children, and both already serve the courts.
You mortals always manage to pop them out. Surely you'll have another that can be promised.
I would not be best described as more.
We might be able to get the Winter Queen on our side if you give up your squire.
He is not blooded. He is weak. He knows not of combat or blood.
But he's pure and innocent. The Winter Queen likes him that way.
He smells delicious.
We could get many troops for him.
I will not be bargaining with the lives of others at this time.
He serves you, your commander. Soldiers are expendable. I'm expendable.
Yes, and bear that in mind, because I command who commands you.
Let me ask you a thing. You will not sacrifice this one life of a soldier who may die on the battlefield. What of those you speak of protecting the innocent who sacrifice their lives?
I don't know him well enough to know what he would choose, and I will not choose for him.
We could always ask.
Not yet.
We do
Did
have
you
our...
guys step far away, or is there any chance Bernard would overhear any of this?
What is your passive perception?
15.
Yeah, red caps have a very bad habit of talking a little loud, even though they're kind of that lower voice. So yeah, it seems like there's a deal about you in some way.
So I could definitely pick up that my name was passed around.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bernard wouldn't address that. He'd just
Okay.
keep on his way.
Hal, give me
Don't worry, Bernard. They're just talking about you being a virgin.
Hal, do you want to give me an
I
investigation
believe
check,
that
please?
came up.
It's no big deal. Don't worry about it.
It's not true.
Damn it. 8.
8. Okay. Very quickly, like, you were moving around the town, because you don't really have to train too much. You're just the bard and going with that. A rather attractive blonde woman in full plate mail, gleaming white mail. The armor is the most exquisite you've ever seen. Like, you have never seen in all your time armor built as well with that. Have a sword at her hip, and exquisite. It looks like it is magical. There's runes upon the hilt of it and on the pommel, and a shield that is a heraldry that you do not reckon goes into HK's house, and it looks like she knows it, like she's been there before.
Who is that? I'd rather I'm gonna approach her.
Well, she's
Careful.
in the mansion house. You kind of saw her from the street from a distance. So you'd have to go into the house to find out who she is. Do you wish to do that?
Yep, doing it.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes,
You
I'll check on everybody.
you walk up to his house. The door is closed.
Are there knockers
Yep.
on the door?
Jen, you are a bad influence on me.
All right.
How am I a bad influence?
You know.
Silent unit. All I did was go, ah!
As you hit the door, in about a few moments, someone goes, one moment. And in about a couple minutes, a small being, it's about 4 feet, yellowish fur, long ears, small little glasses, little fluffy tail, but in a very exquisite royal blue, like tuxie type of suit. Hello, may I help you?
Yes, I came with the Lord of the Manor, the other day, and I just wanted to come by and check on my comrade's progress.
You wish to see Lord Greystoke?
Yes,
Senior or son?
son.
Son it is. Follow me. He goes in there, and then he leads you down the hall. You were in here a little earlier, but now you're kind of going in a different place. You have never seen some of the items that are in this house. Again, they are just lavish, weird things of arts and stuff, and crafts that they must be from all over the world. So HK is a well-traveled individual. He leads you to a door. It is a strange door. It is deep purple, but there seems to be lavender, pinkish, white, like engraved swirls into the woodwork. And he goes, Lord Greystoke is in there.
Thank you.
Now you know
If you
he's
excuse
prince.
us.
Oh, sure. He takes a couple steps back, letting you to walk in.
Walk in like I'm doing.
Okay, you go inside?
Yep.
All right, you go inside. We'll get back to you.
Oh.
HK, what are you? The troops have been training. Is there anything else you wish to do with your, events that are going in?
I told them everything about Jew and
Oh, okay.
all that stuff. We stepped aside to do that after the whole red cap conversation with Hector before.
Can't hear you.
I will.
So what the fuck's going on with Jew?
We're gonna have to talk about that later. Once we're done training, we'll get the captain. We'll collect ourselves and talk about it. I'm guessing that
anything
me.
in front of Russell?
Oh yeah, Russell's fine. She's as far as I'm concerned, Russell and T are you're all back. You're back in the. It's about family. Yeah, it's like Letty came home. You know that thing. But, I hope this doesn't mean we end up having to fight it. But it doesn't look good. But that's an after this problem, so we're not going to talk about this in great detail other than to make sure our leadership is aware of it. because when this fight's done, we may have another one.
And to make sure that your family's okay.
He goes, hey guys, I got a question right now before we go too far with this. If this thing happened to you, how did you get involved with devils again? I missed something. I thought he was a werewolf.
Well, that was before they became gladiators. This whole thing.
The whole thing. Guess not important.
I guess.
We cured him of the werewolf thing.
Oh, so he's not a werewolf.
Unfortunately,
No, he's good now.
Well,
He got better.
I mean, he still has worms, but that was the only thing we couldn't get rid of.
He got bad worms if he's got devil problems.
You said it.
there's a lot happening in Spero outside of beyond what you originally dealt with.
I was going to say, in about 3 different voices, and the final one being a very dramatic woman, you Russell asks, "What the hell happened when you left?"
I can
Well,
I can tell you that the choices that were made by Aleski invited others to the situation that are not they're not our friends, but they're not directly our enemies yet. But their corrupting influence and the things that they deal with have created a lot of problems. Jew was was going down a dangerous road.
As a reminder, Russell was there for the gladiatorial games, not Cass. So,
Okay.
FYI.
Yeah.
so you saw what was starting.
Yeah, so you saw when he got the bad armor and saw him start down those roads, that road.
Okay.
That was right when Russell left. Cass picked up just when it started to corrupt you.
Yeah. I was aware that that might become a problem. I was hoping we would handle this before it had to be dealt with.
All right. Just checking.
Bernard?
Yes, sir.
In the course of your life defending this realm, you will be tempted to make choices that will make it easier to win, safer if you leave, give you the things you think you may want. It is not my place, nor will it ever be, to tell you what choices to make. Your heart, your soul, and you must make the decision of what you are called to. But understand some ramifications. If you remember the creed and the admonition, if the choices you make take you from one group and put you in the other, bonds of friendship will grant you mercy. They will not let you bring harm to the innocent. Make your choices wisely.
He would be taken aback by that, and I will, sir. Make every choice as if it's my last.
And if it looks like the coolest thing you've ever seen, don't pick it up. It's bad. It's always bad.
HK looks at Alerion like, really?
I mean, I'm gonna pick it up.
Hey, now you learn the lesson?
I'm a flawed man.
All right, Lewanika.
Russell looked at Bernard.
I
Russell
mostly
looked at
just
Bernard.
don't want you to pick it up before I can pick it up.
Yeah.
Russell looks at Bernard and says, "Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down." And then it stops.
We
All right.
just rickrolled the entire internet.
did.
Love it!
All right, Lewanika. I need you to change faces.
Okay.
Hal, you come into a room. It looks like a study. It definitely looks like a mage's study. There is another map, very similar to the one you saw earlier on with the world of Spero. This one is a very strange, like it's black, like obsidian, but there are like, it's almost like a hologram. There are like balls and stuff and lines that are going all over the place and things of that. And a young man is sitting in a very cushy chair, feet kicked up, apparently reading over a book. Limanika, would you please introduce and what he sees of HK's son?
Yes, hang on one second. I didn't realize I was going to have to bring up that character, so I'm just going to bring up that sheet.
No worries. You're
is
forgiven.
Is he in the old ways, or is he in the... Do you remember which campaign he's listed in?
Yeah, yours.
Gotcha. All right,
he would be Northerners.
Yeah.
And I'll give you time, considering as much crash as I've had, you know, trying to find things going on. You've got that going on. So how do you are you proficient in Arcana as Limanika's looking things up?
Let's see. No, I just have Jack of all trades in it.
Cool. So this is definitely a strange atmosphere of stuff around you. But give me an Arcana roll. Just let's see how much you picked up.
All right. Hey, that's pretty good. Dirty 20.
All right. You remember slightly in your academy training and studies that there were professors that had talked about like possible other worlds, like if there can be such thing as dimensions, like the 9 hells, the elemental planes, that there could actually be fabricated versions of other things possibly created by deities and stuff. You're not exactly sure what they would be called or how they're functional. It was all theoretical, but there seems to be some element to what this young man is studying. And you walk in on him. Livanika, are you all set?
I am.
And I know you're going to have to play this as DM to DM. If you have any other questions, just ask. I will try to roll with it, but you really weren't tuned to what was going on with this war, so you can play as dumbfounded as you wish.
So what you see is a young man, really nice, even, slightly tan skin tone. He wears green clothing. He has a cloak that hangs near where he is standing. You see a lot of little like metal pieces around, and you see lots of notes, and there's lots of indications of time going on. When you see him turn to you, you notice that his eyes look odd. They almost look like there's void space in his pupils, but within that, if you stare deeply enough, you almost see like timepieces. Depending on what is very familiar to you, you might see sundials, or you might see mechanical clocks, like whatever your background or culture would use to tell time, whether it be an hourglass with sand dropping or the tides coming in. You will see the ability to conceive the passage of time within his eyes. You will notice a strong resemblance to the physical features of HK, but the person before you is significantly smaller. Give me one moment. I just gotta get to his. Yeah, he's roughly 5'8" or 5'9", but he looks fairly sturdy, but not really just not built. Like, he's not built like HK in any way, shape, or form, but he looks healthy. Like, this looks like a sturdy individual. And as he turns to you, he smiles. And he just says, I was wondering when one of my father's new friends would come to visit. Welcome.
I'm sorry.
I'm Alric. How can I help you?
As a curiosity led me here, and I see it may have paid off.
We'll
This is
see.
interesting. This is
Many
interesting.
Tabaxi did not do well with curiosity.
Ah, well, good thing I am not a cat.
Yeah,
Yeah. Excuse me. No. Okay.
little joke.
Your room, your notes, everything seems very macro. Very reminiscent of something I've seen in the academy.
Interesting. I never went to an academy.
Never.
No.
Do you stay up here all the time?
No.
Let's see, goodness,
Sometimes I go down, have dinner. But it's a small town. There's not a lot of people here. It's not like where I grew up. It's much better where I grew up.
Where
I'm
was
more
that?
used to it.
Where'd you grow up?
Where the sun always shines and the Queen's grace warms your skin.
Was that where
You
you
ask a
were
lot of
from?
questions.
Curiosity.
Didn't do well for the Leonins either, but that's a whole nother topic of discussion.
Your father seems a very strong man.
I am confident in the grand scheme of things there are those who are stronger. I'm confident there are those who might be more determined. There's probably a few more that are at least equally as pig-headed. It's rare you're going to find those things in the volumes that they are contained within my father. But the fact is, he's a good man. And if you are his friend, he will stand by you to his own detriment. Forever.
So you will speak for the strength of his conviction.
I stand before you because of the strength of his conviction. He began his existence as a machine, incapable of emotions or procreation for that matter. There's a story that he even died once. Something brought him back and put him on the path to where he is today. Between he and my mother, to defend a friend, he spoke up against the will of the Summer Queen and convinced her to trust in him to carry forward. Yeah, my dad's pretty impressive. And it really sucks being in a town that he's that loved in, because everybody thinks you're that. And really, you're not even what your sister is. She's a piece of work. Whew! Don't cross her, though. Not like my mom. Everything's fine till you put your muddy boots on her best carpet. Bad idea. Really bad idea. Also a very good person. Last person you want to be against in a fight, though. Fire of summer. Training of my father. Whoo! That's a lot.
Did you mention my sister or your sister.
My sister.
Your sister.
What?
Yeah.
Do you have a sister?
I do.
Oh, what's her name?
Sorry. Go back for that. Maria.
And your name?
How?
How? How? What's your family's name?
Don't have. It's not often. Yeah, that's. Another time, I'll tell you that.
Hmm.
You also ask a lot of questions.
Well, let me help you out with this a bit. And as he says that, you notice he is behind the desk that he's at. And in that instant, he is standing directly behind you, almost breathing in your ear.
Oh.
When you travel this world, be careful what you were freely given and giving. I was raised in a place where, let's just say, I really like to know things about people on a very personal level. And if you're ever around others, they may not be as nice with that information as me. Don't give your true name. Understood? That's your one piece of advice for today. I might give you another one tomorrow. Can I offer you a snack? And he hands and a plate is right there, and he hands you a plate, and there's some really nice cookies and sweetbreads and things on them.
Did they have names?
What do you think I am, a cannibal? A red cat? No.
Suppose it wouldn't hurt, would it? We'll find out. I'll just go take a snack.
He puts it down. Wow. Excellent. So, at a time of my choosing, be sure that you, make sure that, I get what I want. Understood? You've partaken in my hospitality. Appreciate your time. And then he points and, lights kind of turn, and you see the passage of time kind of move, and he's like, sometime between then, or now and then, I'll call you on that favor. Fair enough?
Fair.
Oh.
I guess I feel I knew that one.
Yes. Lesson number 2 for the day. Here we are hoping I don't have to teach you 3. That could be rough. By the way, the things that I'm kind of joking around about, you make these mistakes with the red caps that are moseying about, you could lose fingers. So why are you walking around my father's house when he's not even here?
I saw. Saw someone interesting walking.
Okay. Do
That is-
tell.
I'm gonna follow your first lesson.
Oh, I didn't ask you to give me your name. I just said you saw something interesting. I just want to know what it was you saw.
Maybe you'll find out. Maybe you won't.
Well, I would be careful walking around unaccompanied. Unless you're one of my dad's close friends, that could get problematic in the wrong places at the wrong times.
I will heed your word on that.
Sure.
This was a revealing time, but I think I should exit.
He walks with you towards the door, and as you get to the door, he says, "If my dad has seen fit to add you to the defense of Greenwood, I won't put you off from that course. I release you from your bond. You owe me no obligation, and I do so freely. I just want you to know that you are a man fighting with other people against giants. Don't be underfoot, and certainly don't make mistakes. Have a good day."
Just cast speed walk out of there.
You see Alric, he has to grab the knob though, and then you see again this weird little swirls with the door. You pass out. Roll me an Arcana check, pal.
Hal, why are you so sweaty? Where have you been?
I rolled a 14.
You have an indication that there's a really time and space weirdness with this room, but that's all you can kind of think of as you exit back in the hall. The little butler is there, the Harrington. Were you satisfied?
Yes.
This way then?
After you.
He leads you back to the front door. Please visit again. Lord Greystoke doesn't get many visitors. He does enjoy them.
Does he? Oh, okay.
Okay.
I maybe.
All right. Bernard, time has pretty much gone. You've done your training. You don't always around the town. Is anything you kind of want to particularly work on or focus on outside of pleasing Commander HK?
Your legs from correcting your stance are probably a little sore from having been whacked by a bow. Maybe your arm is a little sore from raising your stance.
Yeah.
From being whacked by a bow.
I think Bernard would, I'd be really it would be a training montage the entire time. I'd be working out a lot, trying to get in shape, figure out what I'm doing with the sword, and, like you said, how to properly shoot my bow.
Okay.
I think I'd be wanting to focus on my sword and like my hand-to-hand combat the most.
You do not see a single black feather for that.
Give me an investigation check.
Every morning I ride a bike and I make him run behind me.
Oh, you're doing that? You wouldn't even ride a bike, Alerion. Come on, let's be real.
You're right.
Bernard, give me a investigation check.
Investigation.
I could magically make it pedal while I sat at the bar.
Well, I would imagine you doing the unseen servant, so it's invisible.
I did intimidation, my bad. Hold on 1 second. Investigation, my bad. Oh, 19.
Oh, awesome. You're training a lot. You've had to do your archery, things like that, and you've had to do the run of the town. You've seen the red caps moving about, and they seem like you've kind of noticed that they're investigating the town a lot, but you almost feel like they're investigating, like, what would they do to somebody if they caught him alone type. That's the kind of interpretation you get when you kind of run across most of these Fey. But then, as you're on the outer skirts of the left side of this town, there's a number of elves that are also out there. And they seem to be archers as well.
The elves seem friendly. They're
Well, you
They're
know
with us?
you think they're Fey. Give me an insight check, and let's see how hostile you think they may be.
One second. That'd just be a D20. My bad.
Yeah, no worries.
A 2.
Ooh, throwing it right there. They don't, they look like they're ready to shoot you guys, to be honest.
Well, feeling that way and kind of picking that up from looking at them and getting the bad vibe from the red caps, I would be looking for HK.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't take you long, maybe about 6 minutes, because he's the big guy, and everyone in the town knows where he is in most cases, so you will find him.
I would approach him.
Go
and
ahead.
say, I urgently, HK,
Yes.
not feeling right about the red caps.
Why?
They're kind of scoping alleyways out in darker areas. And the elves up in the forest line, they're eyeing us. Kind of weird.
Elves? Show me.
I point in their direction.
Take me there.
March right over.
Okay.
Right where I saw them last.
Is Russell and T, you're with me?
No, they're in the bar.
Oh, alright.
They're done. Then you're done training them. They're with Alerion,
Yeah.
drinking.
I'm a bad influence.
Yes, you are.
You see, obviously some elves. Some, definitely from the Fey Court. And they look like Spring Court elves.
Hello there.
And one of them looks very familiar.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
How can we help?
Just here checking on the progress again, Hephaestus.
We are trying our best to improve, but we need more. We need help to fight this fight. I am happy to lead it, and I will lead it, whether we have enough or not. But if you have any that would stand with us,
Well, you have your daughter, so you have the might of the Summer Court.
yes. But this is a war being fought on many fronts. And it is a war for everyone. Even the Spring Court needs to consider the fact that some threats are dangerous for all Fey. Some threats are dangerous for all the mortal world. And we should stand together.
Spring Court is very aware of its need to protect the surrounding area. But are you aware of what your friend has betrayed you?
If you speak about Jew, I am unfortunately aware.
Aleski was there as well.
Are they both turned against me?
Jew was taken by his other child. Word in the realm is he will now serve the devil. Zariel.
That Azarian?
No, Zariel.
Zarian.
Jew is serving her. unless he has no power. We feared that the undead are going to come much more quickly because we would hope that they would have to navigate to the west against the coast, making their travel difficult. But with Fair now dismantled, there is no priest that can hold back the undead horde.
We are trying to gather enough where we might be able to take the fight to their leadership. Strike the one that leads them, ending the threat once and for all. But we're going to need numbers to even make that a possibility, especially if defense is non-existent.
Your recruits are raw.
Very.
They have no
We have
ties.
power.
They have no ties to the power, though, Commander. They're not going to be able to help you if they don't know what they're serving.
I would give them the opportunity freely to speak with the Summer Queen and let them make their own decisions.
We can't give Titiana all the power, you know.
I understand that.
Well, I hope so.
But I do serve her. And if I don't at least make that offer, am I truly serving her well? Would you, in my place, not offer your queen as the first of options?
Right, but you're not her knight. That's your daughter. And I have approached you because you've had that balance in your mind, but I've come to warn you, your friends have betrayed you. You know Lady Hestus has a lot more ability of navigating these streams. But that depends on exactly how much it can be willingly sacrificed, and what you can pull to your side.
I have never had a specific quarrel with the Spring Court, nor do I ever wish one. And while the offer by the Winter Court has been tendered, I did my best politely to turn that down on behalf of those, not even giving them those words directly. Would you entreat with some of mine to see if they would make that choice?
I will talk to Lady Hestus. She would know best if this is the way it is best for Greenwood or not. Only so many areas can have blessings, and 2 more from the Autumn Court are by your side. Remember, T and Russell are part of that.
I always seek balance in things. If the court is to be represented, there is the possibility that all 4 must be represented here in order to properly defend this place.
Lady Hestus comes with one more message before I return. Titiana is bidding for more power. What goes on here, what you do, know how to rein it and how to balance it. Otherwise, you upset the courts.
He puts, again, palms up. He's not grasping. There's no threatening involved. He puts his hands on the pommels of the elven blades, and he says, I am the instrument of Tyr. His wisdom, his justice, his balance. I wield and serve with his blades in their most beautiful and elegant elven form. If balance is what is called for, then I would ask your lady, and I will also ask the Lady of Winter to select from those who would defend here at least one to champion their cause, but have those champions serve me and Greenwood. Together, all 4 courts, myself, no longer the Summer Knight, I could be the knight of all seasons.
Lady Hestus will remember that. You could be the balance against the nine. But if you are the knight of all seasons, know to check your current queen of your daughter, or she breaks out and she will ruin all seasons. There will need no spring, no autumn, nor winter if Titiana is able to claim the sun. As Pepper turns, she looks to you and goes, as you know she's retreating into the wild to go back into the Fey, she goes, the sun god is dead, murdered by his own.
Unless he destroyed Apollo?
No. Ares and Aphrodite murdered their own, but the power is becoming a vacuum. There is power tied to Dark Sun, the Lich. If the funnel of power is to be complete, there's a chance for the god that you know, the one Tyr serves and helps, to lay the foundation and make sure Titiana does not get that power. But if Fey touches the body of the Lich from the Summer Court, Ra's power in this chosen one will be sucked into her, and Summer rules Spero. And she walks away. As you contemplate on that, the red caps hidden in one of the lower barns over here have made a summons. The beautiful young teenager arrives. Hector, I told you I was busy.
Summer night. Apologies. You know the Infernal Legion. We are loyal to the Summer Queen and her court. You know this, yes.
I don't need a history lesson. Yes.
It has not been forgotten. Then I ask you this. Has the Legion done something to upset the Queen?
No.
Are we to be exterminated?
You know this is not true. What Hector needs to understand is, these are the roots to the Greystokes. There is something the Summer Queen is trying to make sure the Raven Queen and Silk do not acquire.
Then why does she leave it in the hands of these amateurs? They are not blooded. They are weak. This father of yours,
My father.
you waste resources. There is no defenses here. We will be destroyed.
The town, of course, will need to be protected, but you'll do what you can. That is what soldiers do. We are warriors. We fight, we die. We claim the honor if we are glorious. You know this. I know you have your ways of attacking those that are more waylaid. But I have duties that are more in line with what the Queen needs, and I cannot be posted by my father's side for this.
This is... My apologies, Knight. This is just a warning. As it stands, I believe this town will fall.
It may. But the house built my parents' mansion has Fey tricks. If need anything, get him there. But of everyone in this town, my father must remain alive. Everybody else in the town is expendable.
So our orders have changed then.
If the town is overrun, yes. HK must be taken to safety. You will know.
And if he is unwilling to come?
He doesn't have a choice, Hector. That's the orders.
Understood.
He will not understand. That is why things have changed.
Then I must make my apologies. Knight, I see this summons was unnecessary. And to clarify, it is only the father of the knight that need be removed from the conflict if it turns for the worse.
Unless my mother shows up. It would be the only. And my brother. Greystoke family.
And wait, you said, am I familiar with the other two?
Yes.
Would I be able to recognize them? Okay.
Yes, you would. They have been in the summer court a lot.
Understood.
Good. I don't want to keep being bothered. You will need to patrol. The Lich King is not clever. But there's one thing you must look out for. Lycanthrope spies. They're not looking for those. If you find one, remove it. Understood?
By any means necessary.
Do what you do, your red caps.
It's always good to hear, though.
I forget. Okay, I have to go back. I've got to convince somebody who he's my blood. Stupid. And then she disappears.
You heard the knight.
As soon as she's gone, I turn to the others.
You heard the knight.
Good. I hope the town gets overrun soon. Maybe we should help lead them here.
I smack him against the head.
We have our orders.
Does that mean we get to
Find the
kill the
spy.
mage?
Find the spy. The one that smells of twisted flesh and dog shit.
Must be his Alerion, the firebrand.
Perhaps. Go. Tell me what you smell. Tell me what you sense on these mortals.
Yes.
Find anything wolfish, bring back to me. Do not engage. Remember, we will upset the queen if we harm any of these mortals.
Okay, as you wish.
We all just slink off into the shadows, and all you hear are the clunks of iron boots.
Awesome. Alerion, Russell, T, you're having a good drink. It is merry. You're well into the cups. Things are well. When Hal shows up, he looks a little disheveled.
Hal, hey! You want a drink? You look like you could use one.
Oh, yes.
How you doing?
That is... I will not go into the mansion unless HK is there.
Why would you think that's a good idea?
I didn't think...
Did you do that?
What?
Did you do that?
I followed
Is this I shouldn't do that, or I shouldn't have done that?
I followed someone who went in there, but I just shouldn't. Just thought maybe I shouldn't do that. Can see what
Yeah,
I would.
I guess they should have warned you that the mansion's a bit Fey mansion. It has portals
Hmm.
to the Fey courts.
What'd you see?
You didn't kiss any dryads, did you?
Me.
Oh, please
I did
don't.
not. No,
Russell,
I
if he
didn't.
kissed a dryad, we gotta tell HK we lost him. He'll probably go back.
Whatever they told you about me, it's probably not true.
No, that was probably very true. The don't kiss dryads, but what they told you about Firebrand is true.
There's
And
been
I-
misunderstandings.
In a voice that Alerion will understand, will recognize, as Everbliss, Russell says he's entertaining himself.
I'm
Shut
never
up.
bored. So what do you see in there? Obviously, you went in.
Not quite sure what I saw. I did see Ulrich, this HK's son.
Interesting.
You saw Alric?
I think so. That's what he said.
Are you?
What did he tell you?
Oh, he just taught me a few lessons.
Lessons? Magic lessons?
In a way, to be aware of certain magical things.
He is gifted in the arcane.
Leans
Very.
over-
Have you ever seen him? Have you ever seen his eyes?
You got spanked.
So you have?
I haven't seen
Of
him.
course.
They say he's. Not many people see him anymore. Not ever since he studied.
Yes, he said he never leaves. He goes from his room downstairs and then back.
Yeah, he's basically Silp's like avatar or something.
Well, nobody mentioned that.
Well, how do you think
Well,
he got
you didn't
created?
You didn't ask before you snuck into this house. Yeah, yeah.
Did anybody else see a very beautiful blonde woman with the
That's me!
brightest armor?
Oh, I don't have any armor. Sorry. Whatever. It's always the tall ones. T gets up, she's pissed.
Halflings, am I right?
I did not.
Everyone's a tall one.
But anyways, what
Was that
did you all do today? Just takes a big swig.
No. I want to hear more about you.
No, you first.
What about you and your new blonde girlfriend? What's this? Put it down.
Unfortunately, I never got to see her. But never mind that. It wasn't like that.
Of course it wasn't.
Alright, so are we gonna go tell HK that you met his son? And that you walked into his house?
Would he be mad?
Would he be bad?
I think he could kill
Maybe
me with
a
a
little
finger of
bit.
a pinky.
Nah, he's not gonna kill you. He's gonna be more interested in his son talking to you and finding out exactly what he told you.
Family
So no-
reunion.
So
Well,
nobody.
I mean, you knew I was going to tell him you went into his house, right?
Oh yes, I forgot. You guys, you were practically married to each other.
Yeah, you didn't even hesitate.
Oh no, I wrote it down. I wrote it down. I'm going to have fun with this.
And as summoned, HK and Bernard show up to the tavern to relax like everybody else after a hard day's training and their latest negotiations.
I make sure that there's a little container of like seeds and stuff for his chicken
Cool.
on the bar.
Cluck goes to town. It's happy.
There isn't a beer for Bernard.
It's okay.
Just the stuff for the chicken.
The server brings it anyways because apparently she has recognized that Bernard is important to HK.
HK gets his chair. And he sits down. Good evening, everyone.
My boy, I've missed you so much.
I miss you too, Russell. T, how's your day been?
T's went away because she's mad.
Oh, where's T?
Kristen, your server comes.
She's mad about tall girls. I don't know.
Speaking of a
What
tall
did you
girl,
say- What did you say, Alerion?
I didn't say anything this time.
Kristen shows
How?
up. Oh, hello there. Sir, do you wish an ale? She looks at you, Bernard. You're muted.
Yes.
Still muted.
Still muted.
Sorry, guys. I would love an ale for the third time.
Awesome. She gives you a kite smile and curt as she swings her hips away and goes back to the bar to get your drink.
Oh, hey.
Alerion,
Nudge Bernard. Hey.
you know Kristen somewhat well.
Well, the timeline changed, so not as well as I used to.
Not as well as you used to.
There isn't ladies like that in Flipperville.
All right. She drops the ale in front of you, winks, and lets you guys have your discussion.
So, what has the day brought us?
Hal, you want to go first?
HK turns and looks at Hal.
Did you invite a fairly tall, blonde woman with shining armor to
Bearing the lead.
I'm a married man,
Ah,
and she has dark hair. What are you talking about?
He's
oh,
talking-
somebody had entered your manor. I followed, but instead of seeing her, I had seen your son.
When you say you followed her into my home, I need you to clarify. Again, I repeat. Speak plainly.
It is as I said. I followed, met the doorman, and he had asked if I came to see you or your son, and I may have been a little curious and asked to see your son. And
You know what curiosity got the tabaxi, right?
that's what they always tell me.
Satisfaction brought her back. I love breaking you guys. I love it so much.
I think you're really enjoying bringing it back, Russell, pretty well, Jen.
I do so much do. I could just throw out random shit.
So, you saw my son. You're walking upright. I assume you acquitted yourself at least moderately well.
Yeah, see, from what I've heard, he doesn't get many visitors. Nobody really talks to him.
I wouldn't say he doesn't get many visitors. I would say that most of us don't hear about the visitors he gets.
Oh.
HK turns his head away from you, turns towards Alerion, and he gives you a clank.
Well, upon our meeting, he parted a few lessons.
And you have all your fingers and toes?
I didn't check my
tail
toes.
feathers?
You may want to do
Yeah.
that.
I'll remember that before going to bed.
No, you should check immediately. If you
Oh.
check them right now,
Yeah.
you may be able to help yourself.
You won't need those flip-flops anymore.
Just unbuckle my shoe and just take off.
Leonika,
my
check your
toes.
message.
Hmm?
I just want Leonika to be untuned with his message in case he needs certain things to answer.
Okay.
Start checking my toes.
You're fine. You seem to be no worse to wear.
And at that point, he is. By the time you look back, HK is laughing. Like he will not slap his hands on the table because it will destroy the table. But he is,
Yeah, I'll go. Did he count?
every one of them. You see, Russell, I've learned humor. Put your shoes on. You're
Indeed.
smelling up
Bernard
cooking.
laughed.
She's back on.
HK looks over and goes, even the cock is laughing.
Hey.
The guest you're referring to is Wind, Earthheart. She's a great hero, and she will be with us as we defend the town.
And you have some drool on your chin.
Oh no.
She comes from a long line of Tyrian paladins. When the Greystoke paladins who came before me adventured, she was the legend they looked up to.
Hal, you have never heard of Tyrian paladins, and you've never heard of Greystoke paladins.
Fascinating.
But if you have wished to speak with her, I would recommend you get an introduction.
I shan't enter your manor without you.
That's probably a good plan. I'm sure Mr. Reynolds will take good care of you. He's very accommodating. He will let people make whatever mistakes they are bound to make, because he too enjoys a good joke. On a more serious note, did my son have anything specific or important to say about what's coming for us? I am sure his studies are trying to determine the best ways to help.
What he gave me sounded more like a warning. He said that was a fight with giants, and not to let themselves go underfoot, and also to, as a second lesson, be wary of the red caps.
The red caps are fine as long as they are bound by the oath and the rules that they have made and the rules of hospitality. However, if you are so foolish as to free yourself from my protection by any number of various means, Faye can be fairly crafty with this. You might not be under that protection, so you want to be very careful in your dealings. As long as you hold true to the things I say and what we are trying to do, you'll be fine. But if you find yourself cornered in a conversation, being asked a lot of questions, or being allowed to talk, you want to be very careful that you don't give up those protections inadvertently. Number one, never give them your true name. Keep that whole and true to yourself.
Red caps are good for nothing more, if not for death, if that's what you wish.
But that's advice. That's true for all Fae. My son, my daughter, myself, Alerion in the past. When we have certain information, we can use that to our advantage. The deal that was proffered with the Red Caps was because I understand this. I lived many years amongst them. I was for a time their protector, their knight. A task that has gone to my daughter. Here in Greenwood, my daughter would barely be a year or two old. But we spent their entire life in the Fey realm. All those many years, my daughter and my son grew up amongst the Fey. In many ways, they are more Fey-like than I have ever been or could ever be. So they can be a bit playful. But when powerful things...
Russell snickers at playful.
Yeah. But when very powerful beings play, you don't want to be the broken doll.
Lee, check your notes. I mean your messenger.
Just sits there, quietly just really ponders, really still looking kind of shaken, maybe a little pale.
But my son is a good man. He cares deeply about his family, and he cares about the things that his family cares about. But his studies, they're beyond me. I need to get back to the mansion, to the house. Alerion, Bernard, and Hal, if you'd like, please join me. Russell, I'd love if you and T would come with us, or wherever T may be.
Let me gather her up.
Excellent.
You head to the mansion. In fact, it doesn't take much for your boys to, or at least you yourself, to see the troop on its way back to the manor. So you can skulk if you like. You're muted.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
I'll actually catch up with HK. Just clunking out of the shadows.
Okay.
And say, I need silverware. You can provide, yes?
I believe we probably have a store of silver-tipped arrows.
This will do.
See the captain. Be gentle and polite.
What is this word?
Bernard,
I am 4 years old. You have to be Pacific.
you will show deference as though you were speaking to the queen, to my captain.
Is blasphemy. You want me to treat a mortal as the queen?
No. I want you to be as respectful with the mortal as you would the queen. That's what we call polite.
I'll turn to my shadow and say, this mortal must be very powerful. We will have to be wary of them. And we skulk off.
Okay. Caleb, I love him.
Hector is all the things. All of them. Every last one of them.
I hate him, but I must protect him with everything.
He's so evil and cute at the same time.
He's a gremlin.
I love it. All right, you're at the mansion. Mr. Reynolds was there. Master, welcome back.
Thank you.
Am I serving a big dinner today?
Maybe. Take me to my son, please.
Everyone wishes to see Lord Greystoke. Very well. He takes you to that door. He knocks on it and goes, "You may enter."
And then I will enter and wave everybody to follow.
Okay. Everyone will see the room I described earlier. Alerion, you need an Arcana check, though.
What about me? I'm not that court.
I don't think so.
Okay.
24.
You are very much seeing, like, formulas to multi-dimensions. Like, there's tracks that you can see in that hologram table that are to, like, the 9 hells and the planes of elemental. But there are definitely some far off, but it definitely looks like formulas that look more into that.
Is it more that I'm seeing that there's pathways to these places, or that we're no longer where we are and we're in another?
You know, you walked into a Fey world. Like, you're in the Fey. You know, you're in a Fey court, like one of the area in the Fey. But you're looking at all, like, the formulas going in there are stuff that you remember that the Frog and Slate were broadcasting, and a lot of those things. This looks like somebody who's captured it. Yeah, so a lot of those things that were conceptual in your foreground of things that were being told to you, it looks like HK's son is got a handle on it. But
He got it from them, or they got it from him?
I don't know. But Liwanika, you get a chance to do what I've had to do in a couple of games. You get to roleplay a bit with yourself.
Yeah. Father. And company. And he goes up, kind of walks past his father, and he walks over to Alerion, and he says, "So you're the one." You're the best friend.
Yeah,
Hello, Uncle.
it's a pleasure to meet you. It's
He seems relatively off-put by the whole hugging thing. Yeah.
I might
So
add
you're
for
all-
you, Jacob, before you go too far. You gotta remember, Vivian was pretty much pregnant. So this is definitely a much older man in front of you.
oh yeah, it's weird,
Yeah.
but
But you kind of know the world.
He-
I also got a little feel out talking to Hal and
Yeah.
how his interaction went.
It's still kind of weird though.
He didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't know that I had no clue.
To be fair, Vivian wasn't even pregnant with Alaric. She was pregnant with Diane.
No, Alric is the firstborn.
Oh, he's the oldest one.
He
Okay,
is the
great.
oldest.
Oh, yeah.
Diana is the
All
youngest.
right. Okay, got it.
Don't
Why do I
worry,
always get that
Jay.
wrong?
We'll forget.
I'm bad with birthdays, so I'm a terrible dad. Yeah, so, I'm home, Dad. What brings you by? I thought you were away. What brings you here? I was summoned. Someone in a different place needed some help from the court. The Summer Queen allowed me to answer that call. So I went. I lended aid to some people in need and fought the good fight like you always wanted me to do. Things went well for them. For now. And now I'm back. And, I may have to go back there. Got some fires cooking.
Oh, I hear that.
Well, as one does. But I just needed to be here. So when I got back home, it connected me here. Mr. Reynolds brought a visitor. How are you, sir? How you doing?
How are you? Good.
If you notice, your timer got a little longer after our last visit. That's a good thing. And nobody else can really see it, but there's like this little glowing thing in floating about in all those formulas that stands out to you. And it, again, whatever type of timepiece you use from your culture, it looks like you have more time than you had before. You can't tell how much time because the demarcations are not there to say this is a day, this is a year, this is an hour, but you can definitely see that you have more time than you had before based on the lessons you last learned in this room. And then it disappears.
Me not knowing what the hell that was. I'm just like
Weird, right?
what am I in here for?
What the hell did I sign up for? So it looks as though you're having some troubles. That? There was an agreement where I went. We help them. They help us. Might have some folks that might be able to lend a hand in a pinch. I can't promise vast legions, and anybody who knows anything about magic knows that he's actually using thermography to make it boom and sound all spooky and scary.
I'll never reveal our secrets.
Yeah, he says, but when they get here, they'll be useful for you. And bound by oath. Like I said, we help them. They gotta help us.
T goes, great. Can't wait to meet him. When are they coming?
It's
Well,
open to them.
that's the interesting question that I'm trying to figure out. You see, when and as he starts speaking, the sounds like slow down and speed up in weird intervals in such a way that it makes zero sense. But he's basically giving you the formula of him trying to figure out with all the metaphysics of multiverses and timelines and variant timelines and all of that of when that's going to actually happen. And when he's done with all that weirdness, it just comes back to, and that should be when they arrive. Make sense?
No.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Oh.
And that's when who
Yeah.
arrived? No, it does not make sense in two different voices.
Once you see it complete, it looks so simple, but it wasn't before. Yeah,
So
I mean, you guys don't get it?
I'm going to try to explain this, and I don't know how well this will work. I am connected to the mechanisms of existence. I know how things should work in an orderly fashion. And I am Fey. Those are forces that are in opposition. Yet, I tend to balance them. But sometimes, if I'm going to say or do something that's not quite balanced, it's hard to explain things. More accurately, I explain it perfectly well. Nobody understands it because the mechanisms and the chaos don't want you to get those details just yet. But when those two things combine and they agree that it's the right time, whoo, it's a lot. So the when is a little different, but I can tell you the who. You get one champion from where I was. And once I complete this formula, I'll be able to tell you exactly when they get here. And it'll be clear. Explaining the formula, unless you're connected to both the chaos and the mechanism, I don't think it'll ever make sense.
T looks to HK.
HK is completely dumbfounded. He's like, does not get anything that's been said. Like, he's like, eh?
I think he
We
wants
have-
you to answer the champion question.
Oh.
Or maybe
It
Hal
has-
knows, because he was in here earlier.
Let me ask this question, Alaric. Is this champion somebody that we know of, or only somebody you may know of in this other world? And Ben Lewanika's asking you the answer to that question, because I'm not entirely
Only
sure.
Alric knows.
Okay. I can bring somebody from there.
But we don't know where.
No, but you can let me know what you need, and then I can find the champion that can do that thing.
T goes, how far of a scale are we talking about? A king or a queen?
Oh, I know a princess who's gonna be queen.
Princess is gonna be queen? Well, that's pretty nice. Don't tell me she's tall and blonde, because then fuck that shit.
Actually, I'm not going to say that.
God damn it, they're always tall and blonde, too. Never gonna get anything in this goddamn town.
I didn't make it.
Well, how powerful is she, this tall blonde person?
She's the granddaughter of Lodi.
The fuck is that?
A Fey Lord?
Fey Lord? Granddaughter? Princess to be queen?
Was he a lord that I would have heard of when I was in the Fae? Has he been a lord for a long time?
Give me a history check out of you. This is gonna be a tough DC.
Oh, fuck. Shitty roll.
No. Not that
Plus
you know.
11, for Christ's sake.
I will say,
dude.
I will say this though. You're proficient. You know the most powerful Fae are the Queen, the Lady, and the Knight. That's it. Those are the most powerful of the Fae. The only ones that kind of break out of that, of course, are, is the collection of knights, which are the Knights of Nine. That's the only other group that are outside in numbers. But every one of the other four courts, winter, summer, autumn, spring, they're three individuals. They're the three most powerful things. You've never heard of a lord. I mean, there have been male knights, but they have never been more powerful than the lady or the queen. So unless this granddaughter could potentially be a queen of the Fae, or like a lady or a queen herself, which he's talking about time and distance, so you're not sure if Alric is talking in riddles in that regard.
Alec, are you talking of the Fae that we know from our world, or are you talking about Fae from some other...
Oh, it's definitely from somewhere else, but more importantly, she's going to be a queen of the mortal realm. She has mortal in her as well. She just won a great war, or at least when I was last there.
That's a bonus.
Would I recognize any of this as a Fae?
Give me a history lore. Again, DC is super
Sure.
high.
Sure, with my -1 history, I'll give you a history.
A big number doesn't help.
No, I rolled a 7 -1, so a 6.
Not that you've ever heard of for sure. Again, you only know of a queen, a lady, and a knight. That's the most powerful Fae that you can possibly imagine. And the only
And I
real
can't think. I don't know a Lodi.
no, and the only thing of the children right now that are abuzz in your Fae courts is Alric and Diana. Those are the two children that are outside the court. And Diana is important because she is now serving as a summer knight. So Alric is an oddity because you all know that he was made by Silk, this goddess that has worked her way into Spero. So he has always been super, super, super special.
Okay.
Yeah, but she has great champions. The one she selected as her consort is one of those brooding types that's got a lot of power.
Hal, are you taking notes now?
I mean, looks a lot. Actually, acts a lot like my dad when he gets mad on.
Wow. Another HK?
But HK doesn't particularly like that description of himself, but he doesn't say much at this point. But she has other friends that are very powerful as well.
Well, do we get the other friends, or we just get her?
We only get one.
So we only get, I guess we're talking about the future queen.
I might recommend, quite possibly, her priest.
A
The one
priest.
who married them.
Priest of...
Their world is different as far as their powers. In fact, for a long time, they didn't even have gods. But the power of the various domains flowed through this world in much more substantial ways. But one of these former gods was freed and brought back to their world. And one of this queen's friends was a priest of this god. A priest of light. A priest of healing. A priest of power and fire.
I need HK to do an insight check.
Fire good. I'm fragile, so healing, extra bonus.
Yeah, I was about to ask for that because as I was doing that, something clicked in my head. So that's gonna be a 23.
As your son is explaining this, it occurs to HK that he is already worried with the delicate balance of the gods. He knows that Silk and the Raven Queen are bringing in other gods. So if he's speaking of a god that they already know of, it could be good things. But if he's not, your power could be fragile, especially after what Pepper just told you.
So what HK is thinking is that if you can't have the Summer Queen take the power of Apollo, a priest of light and fire taking the power of Apollo.
Here's another thing to worry
might
about, though.
be fit.
What was told to you by Pepper about Oleski?
Oh yeah, he took him out.
Also, that
Yeah.
he's powerless. So if the deity isn't strong or here, there's a chance that he may come in with no power. The way your gods operate a little differently than what happens in Spero
Yeah.
and Alanis. Without a power base, he's a very small vessel. Remember, that's really where a lot of things are going. I'll even give you something to work on. Give me now a history check, and I'm going to give you an advantage. Alerion, you may do the same, and I'll give Russell because you've been part of the game. The three of you can each give me a history check at advantage.
That might be the worst advantage history roll I have ever
well.
rolled. 19.
19, Firebrand 21. Get Russell.
Uh, 5.
Russell, you've been too much making fun of shit instead of paying attention in class.
I think another ranger is needed. We need another ranger.
Okay,
Rangers rock.
so Alerion, mostly you, but HK, you're not really that far off. Think about, you start to remembering that Silk's whole issue was she didn't have a power base, so Hades kind of brought her here and captured her in the 7 stones. It wasn't until she broke out. Remember, there was a lot of things that Silk and Raven Queen kept pushing for. Followers, people would believe in her, things that would happen. You started hearing about churches because you remember them being built up in the Garden of Gaia, but they're still low key. Their power base was lower. It really was, if you think about it, the birth of Alric gave Silk way more power in this realm. Like, her course of action and stuff that she was able to do ascended through you and your son. So that is where you start to see that weave incorporate between what you've done and accomplished and why even Tyr has had a placement. Like, you've been feeling now that you can now sense that these other gods are slowly being brought in. They don't have the same power base as Silk and the Raven Queen, but because you now know that the Raven Queen has a power base in the Drought City. So it is those gods that are getting strong. The story that Alric is probably telling you is this individual is probably strong, but he would have to have his power base set up before his deity could give him the power to operate as strongly as you need him at this level. Maybe, to protect your grandchildren in the future or something like that, this could be something that could possibly be pulled by Alric in the future, but at the moment, you don't think he could be that powerful enough unless he really is this iconic being of his god. But if this god doesn't match, you could have several gods from two different factions, the Old Gods and Silk's Gods, going against him. And that makes him an enemy of you.
So, given HK's limited understanding, who would HK think, or what would HK be looking for as the type of champion to bring here?
Well, the Sun's being cryptic. Apparently this woman is powerful, but if there are other people that would warrant it, HK would always be like a servant to, is better than the power itself. That's the way he's always sort of been. But if Alric is saying that this being is powerful, you're desperate right now. You have no troops. Your situation is pretty is pretty bleak. So Alric needs to be a little bit more descriptive in what this woman could do for you to get that you would go that high, because otherwise it would be somebody else that would be useful in some regard that I think he would pitch for, but you'd have to have a little bit more information than he's given.
Yeah.
And if he gave the right history lessons, and we can speed it along, if Alric gives you what she accomplished, she is absolutely probably a wild card that I did not even plan for.
Yeah.
I will say Gabe has stumbled into something that was only in the back of my mind as a play card, and he's unlocked the door.
So, I think in his own weird way, Alric would definitely describe the group, the Northerners, and what he witnessed. You know, he would describe the Ranger, the Goliath Ranger, and the Goliath Ranger, her consort, the psychic thief who wielded the power of the Jinn. He would describe, again in a little bit more detail, the priest of the Reverend Mother who would bring life and fire and was proselytizing and raising churches all over their lands in an effort to combat the evils. He would definitely speak about the paladin of that same deity who stood at the side of the woman who he loved, his betrothed, and fought not only with this group but with other groups towards ending one of the single greatest threats of that land, an entire order, destroying his own father to save the land and to save his beloved and his friends. He would certainly talk about the Dragon Slayer, half-orc whose power was stalwart and always stood by and ready for the fight, along with his companions. He would talk about the maid who journeyed with them. He didn't actually know her, so I think did I get everybody? I think those are the ones that stand up, but I think that's everybody.
The only one would be left is Ben's halfling, which we'd know.
Yeah,
I was gonna say the bard.
Yeah, but the bard wasn't there at the time.
Yeah.
Ben's halfling was definitely there, and he would mention that they had other companions, they had other folks that they worked with. He would make mention of some group they talked about all the time who also did great things in this realm, that they had connections with, but his dealing was specifically with this group.
Alron, give me an insight check. You're gonna go. You're kind of like reading Alric.
Jesus Christ!
Wow. I'll give you an advantage. You sort of know how Sons of Greystoke will work.
16.
Better. Okay. You get a feeling that HK is looking for an answer of a question to being. He's described a number of people that seem very similar to what the Raven Queen did in the timeline for Alanis, it looks like you have another palette that's being offered to the two of you once again. However, there's a lot of lusty praise about the princess and queen to be with this Fey power roots to Lodi. Alric seems to be a bit infatuated that she is something super special. However, he is very honestly and genuine about the companions of her, treating them in much like you would remember the great heroes of Alanis. Like, these companions that she attracted to her and helped her and protected her are no slouches either. And in your way, it seems like perhaps this woman has the magical means to maybe do more if you gamble on her compared to the others.
Risk and reward.
Risk and reward. But I might add, you have a same inkling in your stomach that doing something with her could do something to someone else's realm. But like I told HK, you're in some desperate, bleak shit right now.
Yeah.
And his tales tell of somebody who beat all the odds. Like, if you're talking about a deck stacked against you, this woman apparently has the mental capacity to do so.
How bad do you want this, HK? How bad do we want to save this town? That's what it's going to come down to.
I came back from death for the purpose of defending Spero. This is the front that mission truly begins on.
Then once again, we roll the dice.
Together, friend.
Yep.
You guys,
Do it.
you give intention to Alric. Does Alric make it so?
Alric will call on the deal.
He reaches in to the hologram thing. Very far off. Small. He touches. He says something. Those in Elvish that will speak Elvish know that he is calling upon a favor of summer. One flower bed blossomed to another, a garden that grows. Summoning me, now I summon you. And he says something, and a thread is pulled. You see that light shine into your door, the one that you entered earlier. It glows. Orange. Yellow. Burning white. It blinds you for a bit, and then it subsides, and the door opens. Stepping in is a beautiful, beautiful blonde-haired woman, young, early 20s. She is in apparently a noble dress, light blue, eradicated with sapphires, jewelry. She looks very highborn, very distinguished. She walks in and goes, Alric, did not expect
And
to
he-
be summoned quite so soon.
I did not expect to need you as much as I do, as much as I always will, milady. But my heart is not why we're here, and not why I've called upon you today. This is another realm in great peril, not dissimilar to your very own. Now is the time. This is the fight. We need you. I introduce you to my father, Hephaestus, Kenrick, Greystoke, designation HK, former knight of the Summer Court. Will you help us as you had promised you would?
She extends her hand, allowing a small shake from HK. Your son served me when I needed him most. When I wished to claim my throne. When I wanted to save my people. He aided with his elves. I wish I could give you more. Apparently I'm the only one here. But if I'm to find anything, I will do so. I am Lady Mira Haldane of the city of Verlandon and the Summer Court. I will serve and help you to all my power and ability. And with that, we will end tonight's chapter.
I have one question.
Yes.
I have one question.
Sure, go for it.
Russell,
Ask it.
Russell's checking her out and everything. What is she wearing? Does she have wedding rings or just like an
She
engagement
does not
ring?
have. She has an engagement ring. She does not have a wedding ring. Somebody wishes to delay the wedding.
I figured I'd ask.
It is fair. It is fair. Awesome. Yeah, this is. We'll get the date up for our next session for this before we fully wrap up. Everyone, thank you for persevering. I hope this is now one of the most enticing episodes, seeing as this was a long over crossover. Alric had pulled over and was in Liwanika's game for our own personal session. Now we are pulling someone from his game that I have played many years under into the live game. So now she is multi-crossed, and we are bringing the multiverse and tying our worlds together. And Liwanika, that was a well done job of splitting personalities. But you're DM, so you're practiced.
Yeah.
And you don't know how Caleb and I in the background are going.
We see so much of it. We see
For
so
the
much of it.
audience, Jen played the Goliath Ranger. Caleb played the Paladin. Fiance. Yeah, a brilliant campaign. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And so cool.
If we
So
can do
cool.
more, we'll do that. But everyone, I believe it is going to have to be the end of the month, or maybe we might go a little bit longer, but I hope not. We will get session 2 up, and we will see you guys then for more of the War of the Lich King. Now that we got some interesting powers to be. Thank you guys, and good night.